Dear Matthew, thank you for your letter. It's lovely to hear that you're enjoying your new school and that you are settling in well. As for what you asked me about World War II for your project, I was only little, so I probably won't be able to remember. I can remember quite vividly the day we heard that war had started. Really, there was nothing unusual. My brothers were being their usual boisterous selves.
Bang! You're dead. I shot you, Tommy.
No, you didn't. You missed me. I was running too fast. You couldn't have got me.
Yes, I could. I'm one of the best soldiers in the army. But I shot you and you're dead.
No, you only got me in the arm.
I killed you easily. And anyway, I've got to kill you because you're a German.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. No, you didn't kill me. Now I'm going to get away to Germany. Hey, give it back. It's mine. Mummy! Tommy's taken my Sarah and says he's going to take her to Germany.
What's the matter? Oh, Tommy, give your sister back her doll. You two have got your own toys to play with.
It's not a doll, it's a hostage. And I'm going to use it to escape. Don't try and catch me.
Why do they have to play such rough games? I wish I knew.
Boys, you know what they're like. They all want to be soldiers now, especially with what's happening in Poland. You should be proud.
Well, I just hope they don't get a chance to play it for real. Come on, Doris, you can help me with the washing up and we'll get your doll back for later.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special announcement from the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Neville Chamberlain.
Listen, Chamberlain's about to make an announcement. Tommy and Charlie, stop playing with your toys and come and listen to the
speaking
words.
to you in the cabinet room at 10 Downing Street. This morning, the British ambassador in Berlin handed the German government a final note stating that unless we heard from them by 11 o'clock, that they were prepared at once to withdraw their troops from Poland, a state of war would exist between us. I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany.
What does that mean, Father?
It means we're at war with the Germans.
Is it because I took Doris's doll?
No, of course it isn't.
What's that noise?
It's the air raid sirens.
What are we going to do?
Quick, hide under the table.
I don't know how long we stayed under our table waiting for the roof to fall in. It was a while before we realised that it had been a false alarm, and that was it for almost a year. Soon we began to wonder if we had been forgotten about, but the Germans knew as well as us that Portsmouth was an important city and that the fragile peace would have to end.
Here you go, Bill. Much obliged. I just thought I'd let you know. We've heard over the radio that the hostiles are on their way. A fair few of them, apparently.
Thanks. Do you really think they're coming this time? It'll make a change. I've been here 6 months, and the most action I've seen was when George lost his ration book.
Yeah, I know. Who'd have thought a war could be so boring? Well, hurry up if I was you. It looks like we're going to have PC action.
Really? Why is that?
Didn't you hear? The Germans are on their way.
They've been on their way for the past year. I think they've probably got lost by now.
Yeah, or forgotten what they're coming for. How can you be so relaxed when you have a country to defend? And I've got a cup of tea to drink.
Face it, the war is happening miles away. If the Germans had wanted to attack us, they would have done it by now.
But we've still got to be on our guard. Good God. This is it, lads. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming.
There were 67 raids over Portsmouth in all. Many hundreds of people died and thousands more were injured, but the greatest damage was to buildings and property. Nowhere was sacred to the invading army, as schools, churches, music halls and pubs were destroyed. But during all the destruction and the knowledge that millions were dying all around us, it seemed that life went on. Many people had got married during the war, I expect because all the men were worried that if they didn't take this opportunity, the war may have meant they never got another chance. So my aunt and her fiancé, having set the date for the wedding, and having had the banns called in church, went along to have a talk with the vicar.
There you are. This terrible affair can occur many other times, but not, I have found, one's thirst for tea. I'm awfully sorry to admit, I have no biscuits to offer you as an accompaniment.
It's quite all right, Vicar. We understand. This rationing's put everyone in the same boat.
Quite. However, I see people are not too demoralised. Indeed, some, like your good selves, are even looking to the future in these uncertain times. I must say, it gladdens my heart to see two young people as happy as you during all this misery.
Well, we felt the time was right for us.
Indeed. Now, before we get on to the more formal matters, I would just like to wish you the very best for your life together.
Don't you think we ought to get to a shelter, Vicar?
Shelter? Oh, goodness, no. I don't have one.
Then where do you go?
I sit right here and drink my cup of tea.
But what about your responsibilities?
Oh, of course. Many people have commented on the fact that in my position I should consider setting an example of safety to my parishioners. But I've always maintained that my greatest responsibility is to my faith and to God. When the good Lord decides that my time is up, I will not hide from him. I will not disobey his laws. Now, tell me if you could, what date have you settled on for the ceremony?
June the 23rd.
1 year and 2 months after we first met.
Splendid. I trust all the necessary arrangements are in place. Best man, witnesses, rings, so on and so forth.
Everything is in order.
Although at the moment it's difficult to get the traditional trimmings with the rationing. I must insist that we get to a shelter. I'm not happy putting Jenny in any danger.
Oh, of course. I won't keep you much longer. Just to say that marriage is a sacred institution, a declaration of love and commitment between two people. I implore you, look upon this decision you have made together with the utmost gravity.
Vicar?
Mother, I can't keep still. I'm just so excited. This whole marriage is like a dream come true.
Well, let's hope the Germans don't turn it into a nightmare. Last night's rains was the worst, I'm sure.
Hundreds of people have got married during the war without any problems. Why should my wedding be any different?
There. Finished. Oh, Jenny, you look wonderful. It brings a tear to my eye.
Save it for the big day. Do I really look all right?
You look lovely. Your father will be so proud he won't want to give you away.
Oh, it's going to be a wonderful wedding, isn't it?
Of course it is. You stay there and be ready to hide in case he's dead.
I'm sorry to come unannounced. I had some...
You all know you're always welcome here.
Oh, Jenny, you look beautiful.
Thank you.
What's the matter?
The city was hit heavily last night. This morning I went out to have a look around to see what damage had been done and if there was anything I could do to help. When I saw it, I came straight here.
What? What is it?
Southsea was one of the worst hit. Jenny, I'm sorry, but the church came off badly. Oh.
All your belongings should be placed in the barrack box, which is over there. The girls will introduce themselves. Make yourself comfortable.
Blimey, what did you do to get stuck in here?
How do you mean? She means if you're looking at the top of the pile, you're in the wrong place.
With a look what's under it.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Let me guess. Thought you'd do your bit for the war effort, did you? Wanted to grab a bit of the glory for yourself?
Thought you'd show the men what you could do.
The only thing you'll be able to show them is how to spend 18 hours of every day holed up in this dungeon.
18 hours every day?
That's right. I tell you, it's a good job it's dark in here. We'd all be sick of the sight of each other.
But what do you do?
Not much. Complain and get on each other's nerves, mostly.
But I thought you... I joined up. I was expecting to serve my country.
This is the ATS, love. We're the dogs' bodies. We don't get to see any action. The only thing you'll be serving around here for a few weeks is nappy tea.
And you don't drink the stuff, whatever you do. The tea will kill you quicker than jerry bombs and guns.
Anyway, make yourself at home.
But it sounds horrible.
Oh, look, it's not as bad as all that. This is just friendly soldiery banter, that's all. It's become almost a ritual. Whenever someone new turns up, we try to make them feel as depressed as possible.
Just you wait. You'll be chipping in with some grim stories of your own before too long. So it isn't how you made out?
Almost, but really you don't complain. We do get the dirty jobs, the menial tasks, but at the end of the day, they've got to be done, and we're the ones that do them.
Just frustrating when you want to be out there, really helping the boys.
Getting a piece of the action.
But in the meantime, we just pack up our trouble in our old kit bag and smile, smile, smile.
What made you join up anyway? My fiancé and I were due to get married, but the wedding was cancelled.
Why was it cancelled?
The church we were going to get married in was bombed.
Well, that would do it.
Fred was called up, so I did the same. We were able to find another church, a cancellation, because the husband had been killed in action. It felt a bit morbid, Fred stepping dead man's shoes and all that, but we couldn't afford to complain.
That's how you do it, girlies. Of course, you can usually sleep easier at night if you get it before it gets to its home.
So, anyway, the church is a wreck. You're billeted in a wreck. What's your husband doing?
Last I heard, he was at the front line.
Oh well, not to worry. I'm sure everything will be fine.
Hello, girls. Hands up. Why would any of us want to come up with you?
Well, my reputation goes before me, and you might have been some of the lads talking. Want to see for yourself?
See what exactly?
Nothing. You know you do mouse in trousers. Yeah, but it's what's in the trousers that counts.
Seriously though, some of the ships are off today. I thought you might like to come and see them.
Yeah, come on, girls.
Well, there they are. Off to see some action.
Off to their deaths, more like.
Where'd you rather be? Waiting here to be picked off by some German bomb? Or out there, bringing the war to the Germans?
I see your point. Get me one of them big boats any day. Have you seen the size of those sailors?
Oh, yeah.
I don't just love a man in uniform.
I'm wearing a uniform. Don't hold your breath, soldier. You girls are terrible. You've all got a one-track mind.
Not much else to think about where we are.
We're not as lucky as you with your big guts. I've got the biggest.
Oh, have you, soldier? Come on then, let's see it. What? Let's see your big gun.
I don't know who's more afraid of. You lot or the Nazis. Too late to choke that, or you want to see your gun. Lay off.
Well, Mabel, you coming out with us tonight then?
I'm sorry, Jim, I